Hey everyone, welcome back to OCD Recovery's YouTube channel, where today I'm going to talk about the only road to unconditional self-acceptance, which is the opposite of what we call self-esteem. Hence why the third book on the reading list is called The Myth of Self-Esteem. This is a very odd topic if you've never heard of it before. So if you're finding this video, most of the things I'm talking about won't make any sense because the majority of humanity, for understandable reasons, genetic, environmental, cultural, just throughout time, tribalism, works what we call conditional self-acceptance, aka self-esteem, which is in order to achieve ABC, I must be XYZ, or if I have ABC, I will have XYZ. This is understandable until things go wrong. When things go wrong, people usually plummet into depression, anger, despair, rage, shame, guilt. Instead of feeling healthy, balanced emotions, they don't. They go all the way to the extremes. I'm going to talk about why the only path to self-acceptance, unconditional self-acceptance, is understanding the REBT principles, rational emotive behavioral therapy, which has its foundation and background in Stoicism, other Greco-Roman philosophies taken from different psychologists and psychiatrists, different pieces kind of in a stew to reach that REBT, which is very different from the watered down version of CBT today. Most people I work with who are coming from extensive CBT courses are not actually doing any cognitive behavioral therapy. They're just doing talk therapy, which has its benefits, but certainly will not get underneath not just OCD at the chronic level or moderate level, CPTSD and PTSD, GAD, panic disorder, body dysmorphic disorder, and other extreme hardships in life, losing your home, bankrupt, divorce, losing your children, etc. Before I go any further, please subscribe, hit that like button down below. Please reach out to Phil at OCDrecovery.com, and let's talk about why the only path to unconditional self-life, other acceptance, specifically self-acceptance, aka the opposite of self-esteem, how most people operate, is through the principles of REBT over a long period of time. So most people want to achieve goals in their life. Not everyone, but most people. In order to achieve those goals, most people have to do ABC to achieve XYZ. And in the journey to achieve their goals, they maybe get in shape, they lose weight, they have a six-pack. Maybe they unfortunately get surgery, maybe they get lip injections, maybe they do looks maxing, nightmare for unconditional self-acceptance. Maybe they make a lot of money, and maybe you believe these things are driving you to get you to your goals, and you would be partially right. There's nothing inherently wrong with doing certain things to achieve an outcome. Problems arise when those things go wrong, which they ultimately and probably will. People judging you, telling you that you're ugly. There are people out there who a lot of people think are good looking, that a bunch of other people do not think they're good looking. There are people out there that people say that's the ideal man or woman. Then you ask 100 other people and they say, I don't want that. You know, maybe you ask a bunch of Midwestern women that come from Christian backgrounds. This is just one example. Christian backgrounds. Hey, do you think this jacked, ripped, tan bodybuilder who makes $9 million a year as a hedge fund manager in Miami is an ideal man to you? And they think, absolutely not. That person's more than likely have a lot of narcissistic traits. Not always, but more than likely. For obvious reasons. Maybe they put their goals over their spouses, which is understandable to achieve their goals. None of these things are inherently bad or good per se. It's the view about them that causes a problem. As I say, your goals, your desires are not the problem. The rigidity of needing to reach those goals, the strong expectations on the outcomes if they don't happen or come to fruition are the actual problem. So if you have a goal of, I want to be in shape, I want to make more money, I want to have a spouse, I want to look better, I want all these things in my life, there's nothing inherently wrong with that. The problems arise when those don't happen or they go wrong because you add a strong conditional must onto that. So my goal is to get in better shape. And if I get in better shape and I look better and I'm leaner and I look how society maybe wants me to look, that has benefits in my life. Maybe people will treat me nicer. Maybe I'll get more attractive men or women, whoever you're into. But if I don't achieve that, it's frustrating, but it's not the end of the world. That's not what people do. They do the first part and they say, comma, and if I don't get that, I absolutely must. My life is ruined. And that is the problem. And I'm telling you right now, I've worked with extremely attractive men and women. I work with extremely rich men and women, great families, and, working on businesses, not just inheritance. Again, those are just situations. You don't pick your brain and pick the world you'll live into. I work with people who had just a lot of things that people would deem as societal success, and they are extremely, extremely, extremely fucked up. psychologically and sometimes behaviorally. They have a bunch of other things, but maybe they're addicted to cocaine. Maybe they have other drug addictions. Maybe they have sex worker addictions. Maybe they have cheating problems. Maybe they have spending problems. So I work with a lot of people that if you ask the average person, here's the person I'm looking with, here's what their life looks like on paper, it's easy to say, oh my gosh, that person has no problems. They have a lot of problems. Some of the best looking men and women, just from a physical perspective, I've ever seen and work with in my life, like supermodel type status for both sexes, have some of the worst mental prisons I've ever seen in my life. I've been in that, not in the sense of like the supermodel status, but in the sense of, I viewed the way I look as the achievement as acceptance. It wasn't. I took anabolic steroids for a long time. I was on the Jersey Shore. I like the way I look now. I haven't taken any performance enhancing drugs in 10 years, more than that, probably 12 years. It's a personal choice for you. It's 12 years. I took performance enhancing drugs, injectables and pills from 18 to 23. I lived that very bro Jersey lifestyle. It taught me a lot. I had a lot of fun. Excuse me, but there was definitely a lot of negatives in that lifestyle. And it gave me a strong sense of achievement conditionally until I didn't like the way I looked in the morning, or I went out and had Italian food because I grew up, again, at the Jersey Shore. We have the best Italian food bar in none. Get out of here in New York, in Connecticut, Rhode Island. We got the best, bada bing. So you eat those things. And, pork, leg, and cheese, bacon, egg, and cheese is Taylor ham, if you're one of those people. Look it up if you don't know what I'm talking about. It's fire. And you're like, oh, I feel bloated. Now I can eat that stuff, feel that. It's not a bliss state, but I'm not, oh my God, this is the worst thing ever. And trying to run away from that. So there is only one path to unconditional self-acceptance, and that is by practicing unconditional self-acceptance. Getting in shape, getting a better partner, getting money, getting all the materialistic things in life can add benefit to your life, but they will not get you any closer at all. Not even 1%, 0%. I'm telling you, it's an illusion. I've been there. It will not get you any closer to unconditional acceptance except for speaking in the language of unconditional acceptance. It has the illusion of helping, but I'm telling you, I've worked with people with all of these different things, and they don't even have anywhere near unconditional acceptance just because they've never practiced it, they never tried. So let me go through a couple examples for you to kind of show you what I mean by that. So we'll use the first book on the reading list. OCDrecovery.com is where you find the books underneath the resource tab. So that's the first book right there. This book is more than likely one of the most important books, in my opinion, ever written. The book by itself is meaningless. You have to apply it. A lot of people know they're going to the gym and eating about a balanced calorie, surplus deficit, who gives a shit? Whatever your goals are, is more than likely how you achieve your goals long term. People have the knowledge, they still don't go. So action is important. So let us go through the ABCs of REBT, activating events, belief systems, and consequences to dispute something. So your goal. My goal is to get better or achieve unconditional. By the way, unconditional self-acceptance is not a line in the road. It's a state of being. It's an embodiment. It's not something you tell yourself. You see all these misunderstandings in the mental health community, not just with OCD, talking about mantras, radical acceptance. Radical acceptance does not exist. It's never existed and never will. Acceptance is a long, drawn-out, slow chipping away process. Radical is usually things that people think you could do in the moment. It's why thousands of people ask me, what do I say to myself in the moment? What do I do? Anyone that says that radical acceptance is what you do for OCD, I want you to get out of your chair and run the other way. Turn into Usain Bolt and try to be his 100 meter or 100 yard? 100 meter dash. It's the dumbest thing I've ever said. It's okay. You can make fun of me. So I like being made fun of. Activating events. Someone judges you. You judge yourself. You do badly in an interview. You don't like the way you look. Your hair is thinning. Stuff like that. Like for me, my hair is starting to thin here. I mean, why would it not? I was in chronic anxiety for half a decade. I'm surprised I even fucking have hair. I mean, you look at Rob. I mean, that guy's hair is like back here now. So, this is the worst. So here are the irrational beliefs, right? No matter what, I must achieve X, Y, Z. All the things you can think about that have to do with rejection, self, and other. If I don't, it's awful and I can't stand it. It proves that I'm a loser. It proves that I'm incompetent, who will never succeed. I must get a good position. I must have a good body. I must have this and that and this and that. Rational belief. I don't like not having X, Y, Z. It's frustrating, but too bad. How can I potentially try and do better next time as I work for my goals? Enjoy the outcomes, whatever that may be, with contentment. That's why I don't like the word happiness. I like contentment, because you could be happy or sad under contentment. Not saying it's going to be easy. Remember, recovery and unconditional self-acceptance is not a bliss state. But when you have those irrational beliefs, depression, worthlessness, shame, guilt, hatred for yourself, etc. So, why must I achieve my goals? Why must I have XYZ thing? Where's the evidence that has to be there? Effective new philosophy. There's no reason why I must get this thing, and there are several reasons why I prefer to get it. No evidence exists that I have to get this. If it did exist, the universe would give it to me, but it doesn't work that way, so too bad. And I'm not going to go through all of them, but this exercise, in my opinion, is my favorite one in the book. Please do all of them, but this goes to show you. And again, when you're reading this book, I always give the same recommendations. Read the book fully, get as much understanding as you can in a non-forceful manner, stop going back and rereading things, and then go back and do the exercises on paper, written. I prefer written, but I do have people type some to me so I can go through them. Of course, my cleaning lady's outside the door, which is fine. So I'm going to have to talk a little bit louder, and a little bit of white noise in the background. But when you're doing this, you're not more than likely going to feel any different in the moment. And if you do, 10 minutes later when you go downstairs to walk your dogs, like my dogs are sitting around me right now, trapping me in this fucking chair, your OCD and your symptoms are more than likely to come right back. It's a slow, drawn-out process. It's why the term radical acceptance makes no sense. And even a lot of the print, and I don't even like these terms, like, even REBT, ACT, CBT, ERP. It's just life. It's just facing your behaviors, slowly chipping away at your worst case scenarios, trying to change your catastrophic thinking, and taking a long-term approach. You're not going to feel any different more than likely on a day-to-day basis. You're never going to wake up and say, oh, I have 20% more unconditional self-life, other acceptance today. So there's only one road to unconditional acceptance. I only talked about the belief part, but remember, there's tons of videos on our channel talking about acceptance and behaviors, and that they have to match each other. You can't just talk the talk like most people do. You could have the best disputing, best beliefs, have read the book. You could be Albert Ellis in the flesh 2.0. If you don't act in that way, you don't walk the talk, you're never going to be able to see the forest through the trees. And I made that mistake a lot myself. Phil@OCDrecovery.com. Let me know what you think. And as always, hope to hear from you soon, and enjoy the rest of your day. And let's look at my dogs real quick. This is what they do. So I got Milo here. Daisy's there. Hey, boo-boo. Locking me in? I know, you're getting old. So enjoy the rest of your day.